Hi guys, and in today's tutorials I will show you how to model and render, how to create a realistic interior in Blender. But before we started, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel and let's get started. So first of all, let's create our floor. So Shift A, add a plane and make it the size around 4 and 5 meters. Now let's create our walls. So Shift A, cube, make the size of the cube 0.3 and enable snap tool and change it to vertex. Move the cube to the corner of our floor, press tab, Z4 to go to wireframe mode, extrude this, snap it here, again extrude, and here change the value to 0.3. Now repeat the same process to all sides. Once you make it, select this vertex and press M and by distance. Now make the height of our walls 2.6 meters. Move it here and snap it. Now let's add our ceiling, so select floor, Shift D, Z and snap it here. Now let's set our camera, so hide the ceiling so it wouldn't distract us. Shift A, camera. Now move your view angle here and Ctrl Alt and 0 numpad. Set the rotation to 90, 0 and 0. Now go to camera properties and change this to 24, and here in resolution I will make it 1300 and 1920, so it'll be more like vertical. In camera data, change clip start, move it a little bit down and forward. Now let's add our window, select walls, go to edit mode, Ctrl R to add a loop cut and Ctrl B. Move it to something like here and again add a loop cut here and here. Select this one and Ctrl B. Move it down a little bit. Now select this face and this face and bridge faces. Go again to camera view, adjust as you like it. Let's add our carpet, so Shift A, mesh and add a plane. Make the size 2.9, move it a little bit here, press tab and subdivide it around 30 times. Now extrude it a little bit. Now to create fabric view, go to object mode here and select sculpt mode. Go to simulation and select this one. And here you can make these cool things, adjust it a little bit. You can change the strength and the radius and make something like this, so it look more like carpet and not like just the plane. Go to object mode, shade smooth and Ctrl 1 to add a subdivision surface. So now we have our carpet. Let's move this window a little bit down and create the frame. Shift D, path selection, select this new object, scale down by x-axis, but before that Ctrl A and all transforms and then set origin to geometry. Now extrude it. So we get the frame. Let's add a glass, so Shift A plane, rotate it by y-axis, go to side view and move it here, scale it a little bit and scale it by y-axis and move it inside our frame. Now let's create, we will have here wood, so let's add that, cube, go to side view, wireframe mode, snap it to the wall, and scale it down a little bit. So it must be something like this. Scale it down by y-axis, go to camera view, move it by y-axis to something like this, and add an array modifier. Change the factor to something like that and count to 3. Now let's create, here will be something like curtains, so select the sailing, go to the top view, tab, wireframe mode, and here add a loop cut. Control B, and here Control B. Now select this face and extrude it a little bit to the top. Go again to camera view, change to shader view, hide for now this, and let's add our plane, rotate it by x-axis, go to side view, wireframe mode, and place it here, scale it down a little bit, and I want it to go straight to the floor, something like that. Go to X and move it to something like here. Go back to shader view. Now we will do the same as for our carpets, so press tab, select all, and subdivide around 50 times. I think it will be great. So go to sculpt mode and again do the same that you did for our carpet. You can add subdivision surface so it look better. Okay, go back to object mode. Now let's create our table that will be there. So Shift A, add a cube, scale it down a little bit, snap it to the floor, scale it by x-axis. Now press Shift H to isolate it. In object data, change viewport display to wire. Now add another cube, scale it down and move it like here and snap it to our frame. It will be the top of our table, something like that. Now make it smaller by z-axis, something like this. Now scale it down by x-axis, select this and this faces, Shift D to duplicate and P to separate the selection. Select new objects, select them and extrude it by z-axis. Now press S, Z and 0 to make it straight on the bottom and snap it here. Now Ctrl A, all transforms and set origin to geometry, and the same for this. Now you can add a bevel modifier. So add a bevel modifier, change this to 3 and this to 0.01. And here just Ctrl L and copy modifiers. So now we can delete this frame. Alt H to unhide all. Our table is ready and we can move it where we want it to be. So I will place it here. Now let's import our chairs. I'll be using ready models, but if you want to know how to model this, let me know in the comments. I will leave the link for this chair in the description. I'll use this left chair, so delete this one. Select this, go to top view and place it something like here. Rotate it a little bit, go to camera view, go back to top view, duplicate it again and rotate it. Go back to camera view and adjust the camera as you like. I will bring a little bit to the bottom and something like this. More to the left maybe. And now I need to change the clip start, something like that. Now let's create our coffee table that will be placed here near the chairs. So Shift A, add a cylinder, make the size of the cylinder 0.6, snap it to the floor. Again, do the wireframe, duplicate it, so, and in the new object change again to textured, press tab, and scale it down a little bit, and now scale this down. Duplicate the top face and separate it. Now press tab, extrude it to the top, and scale it up, something like that. Here add another loop cut, and again scale it up. You can now delete this frame. So add for these two objects subdivision surface modifier, and with loop cuts you can adjust the shape of your table. You need to add here loop cuts to make sharp edges, and make the same for this. Loop cut here and here, and shade after smooth here, here. And I see that here we need to add one more. So our table is ready. I'll move it here. Now we can create our lamps. So one lamp will be here and one will be here. So for the lamp I'll be using again a cylinder, scale it down, go to side view, scale it down a little bit, apply subdivision surface modifier, go to edit mode, and you can now change the shape of the lamp as you like it. So I do something like this, and the same for the bottom part. Now I need to add loop cuts, so one here, 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 here. Now I need to delete the top and the bottom faces. Now convert it to mesh, again add a subdivision, and again convert to mesh, shade after smooth, and now go to modifiers and add a wireframe modifier. So we have something like this. Move it here. Now let's add a wire for our lamp. So click Shift S and cursor to select it, and Shift A, add again a cylinder, scale it down and scale it by Z-axis. Now we can simply duplicate the lamp, or if you want to create another, so it will be different, but I will do something like that. But I'll make it bigger, so I'll move it here and scale it up like that. Now I'll scale down these wires. Now we need to create the vase that will be on the top of our table. So again Shift A, cylinder, scale it down, add a subdivision surface modifier, and now I'll move it here, scale it down, snap it to the table, and make something like that. Add loop cuts to change the shape of our vase. You can select bottom face and insert it. So now we have our vase ready. So once we're done with that, we can move to the render and lighting texturing. So let's start with setup and cover render settings. So go here and change EV to cycles and CPU to GPU compute. Noise threshold change to 0.05 and max samples to 2000. Hide glass for now, and using Blender Kit add-on I'll add HDRI map. So I'll search for sky, select here free, and I'll add this one, and I'll change the strength to 10. You can preview it in render view, and now here is that black. I need to rotate my map, so here in rotation I'll rotate it by x-axis and by y-axis. So now it's more lighter and better. Let's add another light that will be our sun. Move it here, and holding this yellow you can show where it needs to be. Change the value to 2, and I'll change the color to something more warmer, something like this. Now it's time to add our materials, so go to material preview, unhide all. Let's start with our glass, go to material, create new, and change principled to glass. And here in properties, we need to turn off shadow. Now let's add the material for our frame. Again, go here, new, change the color to black and increase the metallic. For walls, apply all transforms and set origin to geometry. And in Blender Kit add-on, I'll search for concrete. I think this one will be great. And the same material I'll add for our ceiling. For the floor, I'll use some wood, but maybe very light. Something like this will be great. But now we need to go to UV editing, hide our ceiling, select floor, top, UV and Smart UV project. Go here to material preview, and I think we need to rotate it. Yeah, now it's much better. For the carpet we need some fabric, this one is very good, and I'll add here for lamps, and for our curtains I'll add the same materials as on carpet. We need to make the same process, so UV editing, UV and Smart UV project, and simply scale it up. Now it's look great. Let's again preview our render and hide all. So now our scene is looking a lot better. I think we need here. So now I'll add materials for all of my objects. I'll speed up this process. So here I increase the strength of our sun. This I kept, this I increase to 15. I add materials for all objects, and now you can click F12 to render. But before you do that, please watch my previous video how to increase the speed of render in Blender. I hope this tutorial was very useful for you, and please subscribe to the channel, like the video. Thank you guys, see you next time.